Lyndon Dykes plays for Queen's Park Rangers, but by next season could he be playing for the Glasgow Rangers?
Yes, because Rangers could be about to sign him on a cut price deal because he's only got 1 year remaining. Now, we have had clubs link with him in the past, 3 million thrown there of other big deals, but with 1 year remaining, that means your price will go for hee-haw, my friend, doesn't it?
Hee-haw, we'll get him cheap as chips. I say we'll get him. Rangers will get him cheap as chips.
I can say we, you can say
them.
Them.
That sounds like LGBT. No, forget about that. Rangers can get him.
The mighty Rangers.
Yeah, so we're Fog Football. We're here to talk about Lyndon Dykes and the possibility of him returning to the Scottish Premiership. To me, I actually like the idea. I think Lyndon Dykes, when he was last in Scotland, was phenomenal. His season at Livingston was top notch. He might not have blown anyone away in terms of his goal scoring ability, but it's his performances. He dominated games, especially against Celtic. I mean, still to this day, everyone talks about the time that Lyndon Dykes gave Julian. I mean, it's just like a meme. Everyone's going to talk about that till the day that they die.
See, this is the thing, right? Rangers have to realise with Dykes, you're not getting a goal scorer, you're getting a guy that holds the ball up well. And I feel like Rangers need to get wingers that are capable of scoring. You've got like Sahaji, Cantwell, etc., who can score from midfield. Tillman, if they get him again. But with Ryan Kent's return, he wouldn't have worked with Dykes because he doesn't get enough goals. I feel like Dykes only works if you can get wingers who get in the act. Therefore, that kind of rules out Sakala. Because, well, Sakala's weird because he could score 10 goals a game or he will miss 10 one-on-ones.
Sakala's weird. I mean, like you said, he is very weird. I mean, one game he'll turn up and he'll look like the best player in the league. Other games he'll turn up and he looks like he belongs in League Two. You don't really know what you're getting with Fashion Sakala. It is, it's a weird bag, but you know exactly what you're getting with Lyndon Dykes. Just a guy that, I mean, yes, I'm not saying he can't score goals. Obviously, he can score goals, but he's not just a goal scorer. He's got so much more to his game than that, and he's proved it at club level, and I'd say more so at international level. I think when you watch Scotland with Lyndon Dykes in the team, we just look better than with Shea Adams in the team. And yeah, Shea Adams might have a better goal scoring ratio or whatever, but for me, Lyndon Dykes is the real deal up front, and I think he'd be a really good addition not only to the Scottish League, but I also feel like maybe him playing for Rangers might actually help his Scotland career, and it might help him himself. I think it would be good for him to be playing at a team that is constantly competing for trophies, and just seeing him win some success, win some silverware. I think it'd be a good move for him. I feel like he'll get more exposure at Rangers than he currently would at Queen's Park Rangers. So yeah, no, I think all round it'd be a good deal for Dykes, and he could follow in the footsteps of his manager, his former manager, maybe soon to be his new manager, his current manager, Michael Beale. We know he made the move for Queen's Park Rangers to Rangers. Could Lyndon Dykes do the exact same thing? Time will tell, but I would say this should be a realistic transfer value for Rangers. I mean, you talk about he's got 1 year left on his deal. I mean, if Lyndon Dykes was tied down to like 3 or 4 years, I would say forget it. I don't think Rangers would have the money to pull this off, but I think with 1 year remaining, I do think this transfer is possible. I think it is something that could happen, and I think Rangers need to make it happen. Now, this probably would put Cholak down the order. I don't see Cholak and Lyndon Dykes playing together. I just don't see that style working. I mean, some people are saying Rangers could go 2 up front, which they very well could. But for me, that 2 can't be Dykes and Cholak.
No, it's weird because like obviously they are both physically like got a presence, but Cholak just doesn't offer you build up. I'm sorry. People can bloody think he's the greatest striker. See if Cholak was honestly that good, right? And I think he's a good goal scorer, but he would have been keeping an unfit Morelos out the team. Beale obviously doesn't fancy him.
Because it's not like Morelos was unfit, but Beale was a massive fan, and that's like Beale's pretty much made it clear from day one that Morelos wasn't going to be staying at Rangers.
And he still played him?
And he still played him over Cholak. So I think that tells you everything that you need to know about Cholak. Time and time again, when it came to the big games, especially against Celtic, he would go with Morelos. So yeah, I don't know if Cholak's going to leave Rangers, but I think if Lyndon Dykes joins, I think that could be Cholak's Rangers career done.
Yeah, absolutely. Rangers have been linked though with other strikers. We've seen fees like Haji Wright for Turkey. Well, he's American, but he plays in the Turkish league. 7 million. Some other guy who plays for Atlanta, I can't even remember his name. It's like Sam Lemmers or something like that, right? And he's been awful, that guy, for about 4 seasons. And these are like big money moves, 7-8 million. I feel like with Dykes, you're getting a guy who's a Scottish international, played in the league,
proven.
Yeah, like again, you're not getting an out and out goal scorer, but I feel like if he plays for Rangers, right, he's at least in the league going to get you 15 goals if he plays most of the games. I'm not saying 15 goals in 38 games is a great return. Well, it's decent, but I think he's going to offer that much more that he'll suit Rangers in certain type of games. I think when Rangers say they qualify for the Champions League or Europa League or whatever, seeing big away games where they need to launch a ball forward and he needs to flick it down, he's the guy for that. Cholak ain't. And I'm sorry, it's a goal for Dykes.
Oh, his last time at Livingston, his first and only full season at Livy. In 25 league games, he scored 9 goals. It's not a horrible return for someone that isn't an all-out goal scorer. You would have to feel that in those 5 years he's improved as a player. And then you factor in that he would be playing for Rangers, not Livingston. So, I mean, let's look at Joel Nouble. Joel Nouble is currently regarded as Livingston's top threat. He's currently regarded as Livingston's best player. He's not a massive goal scorer.
No.
Yet he is in demand. There's clubs after Joel Nouble. So, I mean, sometimes it's not about scoring goals. Yeah, there's some strikers that the only thing they really offer is goals. And that's fair enough. But for me, like, I'm not disrespecting him, but I think Chris Boyd was someone that didn't really offer much in terms of build-up play or anything like that. I think Chris Boyd was just someone that scored goals.
And make sure you check out our top 10 highest scoring Scottish Premiership strikers not strikers, just players since 99, 2000. Chris Boyd, numero uno.
No, Chris Boyd was a great goal scorer, no doubt about it, but you were relying on Chris Boyd for goals. If Chris Boyd wasn't giving you goals, then you had a problem. I just feel like Lyndon Dykes has other strengths, and it's not necessarily all about the goal scoring. But I tell you what, I think if Rangers do sign Lyndon Dykes, I would consider that a goal for Rangers.
A goal?
A goal.
Is that a penalty for Rangers?
Nah, they get enough.
Would he be on penalty? No, it'd be Tavernier. But you know what? He's big. He offers a physical threat. I feel like he'd score a lot of headers for Rangers. And I'm all for this deal going ahead. Am I saying Rangers go and spend like 4 million on him? No, I feel like the price will be between like $1 million and $1.5 million. And then I think that's a decent deal. I don't see anything wrong with that. It's a guy who's proven. It's not an unknown. And like the fact you spent 2 million on Cholak.
Well, I'm going to disagree. I think it's going to cost a wee bit more than that.
I don't.
I do.
Nah, Millwall bid 3 million for him a couple of seasons ago, and they rejected it.
I think it would.
And that's a fellow London club bidding for him.
I think it'd be more like, I think you're looking closer to 4, like you originally said.
Really?
I do.
I don't.
You said Millwall bid at 3 million. That's fair enough.
We need like 4 years left.
And it got rejected. Who knows what they wanted?
Well, all right, maybe. What do you think? What do you think about 2.5, 3?
I'd say about 2.5, minimum 2.5. I don't think you're getting them for £1 million.
Maybe.
Tell you what, if Rangers
maybe Lyndon Dykes shouldn't be coming.
If Rangers get him for £1 million, that's a fucking steal.
Fair enough.
Considering some of the donkeys. I mean, come on.
Maybe Angel want him.
Well, maybe. I mean,
Tottenham.
Like Rangers in recent years have spent a hell of a lot more money on worse players than Lyndon Dykes. So
that's it, guys. Leave your thoughts down below.
Although, what I would say is before we wrap this up, I feel like you can't really please a lot of Rangers fans. I feel like if they sign Dykes, there'll be people just bashing it and saying, he's not good enough. People already
comment on my feed saying that he's not good enough.
I feel like if they sign Shankland, it'll be the same shit. Nisbet will be the same shit. Duke will be the same shit. Kim Fanfini's too old, same shit. It's like, I feel like Celtic Rangers fans have this, like
snobbery.
Yeah, when it comes to like domestic players, they just, I think it's like ignorance. It's like they just like are no interested in domestic level players. They deem them not good enough because they play in Scotland and they don't play for either Rangers or Celtic. And how many times, by the way, have we seen that lead to great players actually not go to the old firm clubs and move abroad? We've seen it with Lewis Ferguson most recently. Oh, he's not good enough. Goes to Bologna and he's he's wanting to be AC Milan.
Aaron Hickey.
No one took a chance at John McGinn. Celtic.
A lot of players, guys.
He's not worth £3 million.
A lot of players.
You tell me Celtic. He wasn't worth £3 million. Think of the money Celtic would have made on John McGinn.
It would have been a lot of money, guys, but a lot of money is at stake here. We've got a big potential transfer coming up regarding a certain Celtic striker going to a certain team that their current manager could be at. So until then, peace.